9:30ish. I already knew how this could possibly go. How you guys doing? Say good morning. Got a couple of viewers on. Jennifer is going to be joining us in just a moment. Hey, Jessica, good morning to you. My long lost sweet face. Go ahead and like, love, and share this video. We are going to be talking about reducing stress with Jennifer Robinson here in just a moment. She'll be joining us live. So, confession, I have been obsessed. I mean, when I tell you obsessed, utterly obsessed with Johnny Gill's There You Go. I didn't even watch Boomerang recently. I talked about the movie a few times here recently, but I have been obsessed with that song. I probably listened to it now 72 times in the last 48 hours. Such a good song, you guys. So how's you guys' morning been going? I'm trying to wait, one, for Jennifer, and two, for more people to get on. So how have you guys, do you find yourself under any kind of stress? And if you do, how do you deal with said stress? Any answers in the comments? All right, Jennifer.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Megan.
Welcome to Facebook Live.
Thank you. Facebook Live is one of my favorite platforms.
Mine too.
Yes.
So, yes, I enjoy doing this. So we are going to be doing this. This is my new good friend already, Jennifer Robinson.
No, we just connected at the heart,
yes,
right?
Instantly.
Right. Instantly.
It was like we were sent to each other.
Yes, yes. And
divine purpose.
Because she says things like that, that's how I know, right? Because, yeah, I mean, really, we're talking about stress today.
Yes.
But it really is about how do we all connect in this big green ball that we're on.
Right.
And when we connect with people who we share a heart energy, that is one of the best things to do for our stress reduction.
Yes. Okay. So I already told people what we're going to be discussing. We're getting some comments already. And so one thing before we get into the comments I want to discuss is what exactly Empowered Through Peace coaching is. Let people know what that is so they can understand, because I don't want people to think that, she's a psychiatrist or you're getting licensed,
Right, right. So Empowered Through Peace coaching is something that I have created over the last 7 years. I do have a PhD. It just does not happen to be in counseling. And I decided very purposefully not to license as a counselor.
Okay.
And there's a lot of reasons behind that, but mostly because what I do is an adjunct to counseling. What I do is more widespread, perhaps, in that, when you've gone through trauma, when you're having relationship issues, those are the things you go to counseling for. Coaching is really different. Coaching, we don't process what has gone on in the past so much as we talk about where you are in the here and now. And coaching, one of the things I love about it is that we set goals.
Yes.
We set goals to, in my case, for my type of coaching, to feel better. And that is my passion in life, is to help people to feel better. So I really invite people to go on to empoweredthroughpeace.com and read my story about how I spent a lot of time, a lot of decades, not being happy, being in a place of not feeling good. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think happiness is a choice?
It's funny. I just posted that on my social media. And actually, my answer to that is yes and no. Because I am somebody who has gone through a lot of licensed therapy because I am preconditioned to depression. And when you are preconditioned to depression, you can blame yourself for not getting yourself out of it. So, no, it's not necessarily a choice for everybody. For some people who are not preconditioned biochemically for depression and anxiety, then yes, because there are people who make a choice to, for example, worry. But even those of us who are preconditioned, we still have a choice in the matter. And this is the yes. This is, okay, yeah, I was born this way. But what am I going to do to help myself feel better?
So I see some folks commenting in this comment section. How do you guys feel about happiness? Do you feel like it's a choice? Do you feel like it's something that you have complete control over or not? And so one comment I saw, Jessica says that she's under stress and she has a vacation coming up and that she's hoping that she's able to de-stress and have some fun. Where are you going, Jessica? We want to know where you're going for your vacation.
That's exciting.
Hey, Larry, thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, Tina, Jody, I make a choice to be happy. Life is too short. That's good. Tina.
Yes, thank you.
So one thing we want to talk about de-stressing. So this weekend, I found myself I was kind of burnt out. I had a few days off from work. For those of you who don't know, I get up around 2 a.m. Monday through Friday. Oh. That's the best part of your sleep, in case you didn't know. Let me just be the one to go ahead and tell you what type of sleep that is. That's the best part of your sleep.
Yes, that's when that's the deep REM sleep.
Yes, yeah. And my alarm starts going off, and then I have to get up and get to work by 3 a.m. And so I found myself like just really exhausted. I had a few days off from work, and even though I was off, I couldn't rest. So what I did was I cleaned my entire space.
Nice.
I literally took everything out of my closet and rearranged my closet. I organized my shoes, my clothes. I cleaned the kitchen. I bleached everything.
Next time you're feeling like that, do you want to come do my home office for me?
No, not at all. But that was my way of de-stressing. What are kind of ways that we can reduce it? Because that's the topic of the day, is what are things that we can do? How can we coach ourselves to de-stress?
So if it's okay with you, I'd like to answer this in two parts because I want to address the vacation.
Okay.
Couple of things with vacations. Vacations are super, 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 super important. However, if you are going on a vacation where you're going to someplace like Disney World.
She's going to the sunny state of Florida.
Okay.
Are you going to Disney World, Jessica?
That is not a restful vacation. It's fun, but you're not going to get a lot of stress relief out of it. We as a society have a tendency to go on vacations that are very stressful. We are a go society. So, Jessica, I hope that you are going to spend at least 3 days in downtime. And this gives me a segue into the next part of the question. If you have been on what I call the treadmill of busy, and I've got some great blogs on that, by the way, you guys, it takes at least 3 days of what the Italians call the sweetness of doing nothing, la dolce far niente, for our biochemistry to calm down.
Wow.
So you really need to have a beach vacation or a mountain vacation. If you can get out into nature, even better.
Okay.
Once you've done that, then we can talk about how to keep your stress reduction in place with little things throughout the day.
So that's what going to be my next question. So for those of us who maybe we can't get away, and those of us who live here in the Low Country, good thing is we're not that far from a beach if need be.
Yeah.
Most of us are in driving distance or can carpool with someone to the beach. So if we don't have, the luxury of taking a vacation and having those 3 days, but we just have 3 days off, how do we, de-stress some at home? For me, it was decluttering. I feel so much better now that everything finally, after living here for years, has a home.
Yeah.
How do we go ahead? How can we de-stress at home? And then also, once we do, how do we maintain it?
Yeah. So it is individual to each person. So for me, if I have been going, and because I work out of my home mostly, going into hyperdrive and decluttering actually will exhaust me. I have to do that little by little over time.
Okay.
But for you, how your stress levels
I'm wired.
Yeah, how she's wired, that was something that was really important. So first things first, you have to figure out what works for you. Then you have to actually take the time to rest. And this is what we have a hard time with in our society. We have to rest. And one of the reasons it's so hard is because when we've been on that treadmill, our hormones, our nervous system, they are programmed to be in that busy, busy, busy state of mind, that busy, busy, busy state of body. So it may be super challenging for people to just sit and rest.
Okay. So I'm reading some of the comments now. I'm having to do it on both phones, so stand by, you guys. My eyes are aging. I always make it a point to say daily affirmations, even if they are very short. I try to hold myself accountable.
Yes.
I will make it a great day. Jody says that, isn't that funny? We go on vacation only to be busy someplace else. Exactly.
Yes.
I always have to take a vacation from the vacation.
Yeah.
And then Tina says, day vacay, massage, music, and no social media or phone.
Yes.
Do you think that really plays a role into some of the stresses of our lives? How do you guys feel about social media? We're using a social media platform to talk about stressing, but do you think that sometimes social media can be a cause of stress for people?
So in my world, and I'm a researcher, research shows absolutely. However, just like anything else that can be bad for us, in its proper place and time, it's fine.
Right.
Social media is a connector, and having social connection is, again, one of the most important things for stress reduction. But just like if you drink too much water, we always think, oh, we can't drink too much water, but yeah, you actually can.
Yeah.
If you're doing too much social media, if it's your constant dinging in your pocket, absolutely it's a stressor. So give your social media a time and place. That's especially important for people who are using social media for their work.
Okay. All right. So Jody says, how do you give space and adjust to someone who de-stresses differently than you? I spend the afternoon winding down, but by the time my husband gets home, he's ready to unwind, but I'm ready to be chatty. Giving space is important, but any tips? Yes. All right. So let me give you some of the backstory about Jody. She does the same thing I do. She's a morning, similar. I do traffic. She's a morning anchor in the Midwest, and so she gets up really early and has rested for a long time. So I'm sure by the time you get home, you're just a mile a minute with your husband. So what would you say? What would you recommend for that?
So you need to give him his space. And Jody, I had to do this kind of similar to you. I work at home. It's either I'm kind of by myself on the computer because most of what I do is virtual, and then the kids come home and I'm ready for adult time. My husband, on the other hand, he's a super introvert, but he is a medical professional.
Okay.
So he has to talk to people all day long. When he comes home, he has to have his downtime. Mm-hmm. So he goes into what I call his man cave, and he plays video games. But we decided as a couple to put a time limit on it. And he gets to do that for an hour while I'm making dinner for everybody. And then we come together as a family. We have that family chat time. And then he has to do the dishes because I cooked.
That sounds like a good idea.
But your husband, he needs that time, most particularly if he's had a very busy outward kind of day during his work day.
Okay.
Give him that time, but he needs to put a limit on it too.
Jody, how do you feel about that? Let me know how you feel about this advice from Jennifer. All right. So also, so I find that sometimes I get anxiety, I guess, about the smallest little things. Like I'll create my list. I find that list tend to help me get through the day sometimes because I used to be very scatterbrained. I didn't know. I would always forget that I was doing something. As I've gotten older, I would say I was going to be here and like, oh, I forgot, you know?
Yeah.
Or say that I was going to do something, ooh, forgot that too.
Yeah.
But sometimes the list then has created its own set of anxiety for me. So what do you think? What do you think is some of the best tools to just help us get through, like, or a coaching tip to get through the day without overstressing about the things that we have to do? Because sometimes when you make that list, it gets really long. Does anybody else make lists that get extremely long?
Yeah, we all do. And some of us don't make lists, and we try to keep it all in our heads.
Yeah,
that's how I used to function. So the number one tip I give in coaching is let go of things you can't control. Okay. Now, how does that apply to lists? If there are things on your list that you can't get to that day, then you can't get to them. And that's okay. The other thing that I do with clients in my groups, I only do groups now, is we go through our schedules and line by line, hour by hour, and we take out the stuff on those lists that are not serving us. If there are things that we are doing that are not serving, we start with our values. What is important to you? Decluttering. If they're not serving our values, I tell people, you got to take that out. And you know what? That is really hard for people because they're like, but I have to do that for my child, or I have to do that for my job. Do you really have to do that for either of those things? If the answer is yes, then it's yes. Then we have to think about maybe moving some things around. But we have to make those lists shorter and give up control of the things that we just can't get to. You don't like that, do you?
I mean, I got a little anxiety when she said give up control. Give up control?
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
in control, baby.
It is the first step, if you will, in my coaching program.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Jody Long says great advice, thank you. Tina says that she used to do lists and that serenity prayer helps her.
Yes.
Trey
right.
says that I do, and when I feel overwhelmed by my list, I just walk away from it and will revisit it the next day. Jody
Good.
says that she's
Good.
begun making lists of intentions. Yes.
I love that.
Be intentional. I'm learning
I
that
love
from
that.
one of my friends right now about being intentional. I'm trying to read the rest of your comment, Jody. My fingertips won't let me be great.
And that goes along with, I forget who else was saying affirmations.
Yes, Jessica said that earlier. She
So
said that.
Jessica was talking about the affirmations. Yeah, starting your day, and I also have my clients bring affirmations in throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
Intentions are very affirmative as well. So in the yoga world, I'm a yoga teacher, a yoga practitioner primarily. We like to have intentions, and we like to say our intentions in just 3 words. So joy, gratitude, serenity, happiness, giving, love. Find what works for you and don't make it too complicated, but those become mantras, and mantras get stuck into our neuro rhythms and they become a part of us, and that has a calming effect in and of itself.
So what I'm gathering from today's session so far is that how we speak to ourselves is really important.
Yeah.
The conversations that we have in our heads, the conversations that we have out loud with ourselves, because we all talk to ourselves a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you're not, I want you to
Yes.
do that. What
That's
I
what you
teach
do
people
yourself. I
is
get
how
it.
to
Hey,
be
girl.
their own coaches. That's another really beautiful thing about coaching. It's not forever. You go into a coaching program for as long as you need to be in it, because a good coach, hopefully, is teaching you how to be your own coach. In my program, you get to create your own manual so that when you forget, because I'm pushing 50, I forget stuff. I have 2 teenagers, right? I go back to my manual, which is my life manual, and I say, oh, that's right. I start my days with gratitude, or whatever it is that I'm needing, because the manual has 20 different segments to it.
Okay, so the big takeaways from today are on de-stressing, because that's what we were talking about, is to figure out what works for you when you're stressed. So you have to figure out if, like for me, we discovered that decluttering is my thing. For Jen, it's stepping away. For Jody, when she wants to, talk a mile a minute to her husband when he comes home, she's gonna give him that space to rest for a moment and then talk to him. We're gonna put time limits on the space that we need sometimes, but we have to figure out what works for us. And then 2, once we've done that, you're also saying that vacation and resting is really important.
Yeah.
So resting at least 3 days, taking that time, using some actual downtime, putting the phones down, stepping away from work, stepping away from people who may be stressing us out as well. And then our other takeaway is how we speak to ourselves. We already said that, Darius. I have a tendency to be redundant. I've also been up since 2 a.m. So such a great topic to get over the midweek hump. Yes, Jessica.
Yes.
And speaking to ourselves. So I believe that
You forgot the main one, and she forgot it because she has a neuro block to it. Give up control. If things
give
you
up
can't
control. Yeah.
She doesn't want to do
I wanna
that.
do that.
And it's okay. That is a journey. It is a journey.
Control.
When I was in grad
Jackson.
school working on my PhD, I wanted to control everything because my schedule was so hectic and I was under so much pressure. Giving up control and saying, oh, that didn't get done. Oh.
Ironically,
Yeah.
I gave that advice to someone yesterday, and I'm not really good at it myself.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's like more of a do as I say, don't do as I do type
Because
of
you
thing.
guys, that's the thing. All of this is about a practice.
Mm-hmm.
all of mindfulness and mindset. Those are the two things I coach on. Mindfulness are all these things that we use to soothe ourselves and the deeper self-care. Mindset is the self-coaching, that stuff we talk to ourselves about. And yes, please do talk to yourself. It's all a practice. If you don't do it well, it's okay, because you will later. You will.
Alrighty, you guys. So that's going to wrap up our first Wellness Wednesday with Jennifer. We're going to do this every Wednesday, 9:30-ish. You know how I like to do segments on Facebook and Instagram as well. So make sure that you guys are following Jennifer's page. It's tagged in this post. If you have things that you would like to discuss, go ahead and write it in the comments. If you're not comfortable writing it in the comments, feel free to send either of us a message.
Yes, please do.
We'll respond, and we'll add that to the list that we already have, and we'll be discussing different things every week. Again, this is just a coaching session for us to. The reason why we do it on Wednesdays is because it's the middle of the week. Sometimes the beginning of the week is going great. Sometimes it went horribly. Sometimes we're heading towards a perfect weekend. So this is like the midpoint to help us make sure that we push through to have a good week. And I think this is going to be something good to do, because mental health, it matters,
Yeah, it does.
And so, and like I totally met Jennifer really randomly, and we clicked, and I just thought that this would be something good to share on Facebook with you guys. So again, if you have things that you would like to discuss or questions or whatever, just go ahead and send it to either of us.
Yeah.
And we can add that to the list. And we'll do this every Wednesday, 9:30 a.m.-ish. Okay.
Are we going to be doing it from the beautiful Still Soul studio in downtown Charleston?
Oh, yeah. So I forgot to tell you where we were.
Yeah, and this is important because we have, for those of you who are local to Charleston, we have this beautiful gem oasis on King Street in downtown Charleston that is a meditation studio.
Yes. It smells like lavender and eucalyptus.
It's absolutely serene. And this is something that you can give to yourself on a daily or weekly basis to come in for a meditation class or workshop. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So
I was gonna cut you off, sorry.
A lot of people don't know this is here, and Kelly
It's
George.
tucked away.
It is. It's tucked away. It's across from the Hyatt Place Hotel on Upper King, and Kelly George, the owner, graciously allowed us to use her studio for this. So I wanted to let people know about that.
Yes, because we were trying to find some place that was perfect, that was quiet, that was going to create the environment that we wanted to have to discuss the topics that we wanted to discuss. And so we found that. So thank you so much. This is a good place. And another thing, when you're thinking about things that can kind of relax you. For me, you guys know I do Fitness Tuesdays. It's all connected, you guys.
Fitness is a big
Fitness
part
Tuesdays.
of it.
Fitness Tuesdays is a big thing for me, and that is helping me de-stress. When I work out and I get that good sweat, and I see my muscles forming,
and that's about endorphins, and adrenaline. That's about hormones, and maybe that should be our next topic: hormones, because we need to have, for long-lasting stress relief, we need to have those endorphins, but we need some other stuff too.
Tune in next Wednesday at 9:30 a.m.-ish. You guys have a great day. Love you all.
Wonderful day, you
like,
guys.
love, share. Go to her page. Give her page a like too.
Thank
okay?
you. Oh, and I have a free Facebook group too, Empowered Through Peace. And we do lots of sharing and inspiration, motivation there. It's free.
Alrighty, take care. Thanks you guys for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Bye, Megan. Thank you.